Well, great evening, beautiful people. Listen, we are so excited to have you here. You are in for a special treat tonight, but you guys know how we get started. The first thing I want to ask you is this: what's in your cup tonight? Drop those great evenings. Tell us where you're joining us from and tell us what's in your cup tonight. You guys know I am a tea enthusiast. I absolutely love tea. And actually, I'm simple tonight. I just simply have some lemon vitamin C tea tonight, of course, with the dash of honey. Tell me, drop it in the comments. A great evening. Where are you joining us from? And maybe do you have some coffee? Do you have some tea? Do you have some water? What are you sipping on this evening? We are so excited to have each and every one of you guys here. As I mentioned, we are in for a very special treat tonight. You see the title. It is episode 8, okay, of Boss Moves, the fourth quarter. We are talking about how do we finish the school year very strong, right? And you might be thinking, this show tonight is just for administrators and teachers. No, it is not. Let me tell you why it is not. Because you guys hear me say it all of the time. Education is a team sport. So it does not matter if you're an administrator, a teacher, if you are a parent, if you are the bank, you're running the bank, you're the barbershop man. You guys know it takes every single one of us. A village plus one is what I say, right? We used to say it takes a village to raise a child, but we know in 2024 it takes a village plus some. So we are about to get this party started. We have a very special guest tonight. And we are so excited to bring her up again. Go ahead and drop those great evenings in the chat. I see you, Miss Parker, Boss Parker, and Boss Nicole. We are so glad to have you. You say I have a coffee with a splash of heavy cream. I love it, right? A little mango dragon fruit. That sounds really good. You might need to ship me. I might need some of that. I am bringing up on stage right now. Y'all give a round of applause. Put some clapping hands emojis in there. We're so excited to bring up the one and the only Dr. Sara Harper. Great evening, dear.
Hey, I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you here. Let me tell the people a little bit about you before we get started. This is none other than the one and only, okay, people? If you didn't know, now you're gonna know, Dr. Sara Harper. Her fundamental foundation as an educator and desire to be an instructional leader are derived from her many early experiences. She knows that as a child, she was a student mentor and a tutor, even in the 5th grade, and tutored students in the 1st and 2nd grade. By high school, she was leading dance camps for students and tutored students at her local Boys and Girls Club. Again, educational achievement and academic excellence have constantly been a primary focus for her, and leading became a desire as she desired to empower other people. Let me tell you a little bit more. Dr. Harper's greatest contribution and accomplishments while she's been in the profession include graduating with a master's from Jackson State University on the dean's list, might I add, with a 4.0. And graduating with a doctoral degree from Mississippi College on Mississippi College top honors list, again with a 4.0. And for those of you that know, when you are in the trenches and doing school at the same time, that's pretty tough. Right. Okay. It is pretty tough to do, but she did it and did it well. Right. She received her master's degree in school counseling and her specialist degree in educational leadership. Dr. Harper, in her role as an administrator, has also continued to help develop other leaders. And we know that's the true mark of a leader. Are you equipping others to replace you, right? And so she has done that not only recently, but honestly over her entire career, folks. One of her greatest accomplishments has been moving McWillie Elementary School, which, might I add, is the only public Montessori school in the state of Mississippi, from a D to an A in 1 year, folks. Oh, she went away. I'm sure she's coming on back in 1 year, right? And in that 1 year, she helped those students. Her proficiency rate was no less than 70% in language arts and math. That is now up to 96.9 in math and 100% proficiency in math for this past year. She is currently her district's Principal of the Year. She is the current Principal of the Year, Administrator of the Year for Jackson Public School District. Not only is she that, but she is currently representing the District number 2 for the state, which means that she is now in the running right now as we speak. She is right now in the running to become the State Administrator of the Year. So go ahead and go in that chat one more time. Let's give her a huge congratulations. Something happened with tech, y'all. We are live. Like, we are live for real. This is not fake news. We are live. So she's having a little tech issue. I am sure she's going to jump right on back in. But guess what? We're going to keep the party started until she's going to keep the party going until she jumps right on back in. So everybody, like I said a few minutes ago, drop it in the chat. Education is a team sport. It's going to take every single person on the face of the earth. If you are any way connected to a school, if you got grandchildren, nephews, if you live in a community where you see students, we need you to know you are needed at this time to make everything keep rocking and rolling, right? And so because of that, we wanted to come on tonight to talk about, just for a few minutes, what can you do right now? It's the fourth quarter, and we know that games are won or lost in the fourth quarter. Education is a team sport, and y'all, we can't lose it. Y'all type that in the chat. Education is it's a game that we cannot afford to lose, right? And so the only way that we win at education is if everybody is doing their part, right? And so that is exactly what we are talking about tonight. We're going to put a pin right there. Again, giving her just a little time to jump back in. One quick question, though. Because again, it doesn't matter what your role is. You cannot be your best self if you are not rested. If you are not well, you are not going to be well equipped to do the thing that we all need to have done, right? So drop it in the chat for me as we're giving her time to jump back in. What did you do for self-care this weekend? And maybe it's what haven't you done? Because guess what? You got a few more hours. If you've not done anything, I am fussing, yes, because we are accountability partners, right? We love each other. And when you love people, you hold them accountable, right? So what have you guys done for self-care this weekend? Because again, a part of being a well village, you've got to take good care of yourself, right? And we need a well village to take care of our students. We need a well village to make impact on public education, private education, education, period. So drop it in the chat for us right now. What have you done? What have you done this weekend to engage in some self-care? There you go. You're back. Right? We knew you could. It's okay. It happens. Right? I told them we're live. This is live. Right? So drop it in the chat. What have you done this weekend for self-care? And as you guys are dropping those in, because there's always a slight lag, we're going to get the party started. So, Dr. Harper, tell the people great evening.
Good evening. I'm so sorry. Y'all, my internet never goes out. So, of course, it goes out tonight at
It's
7.
okay. That means the show is going to be great. That's all.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So what did I miss? I'm so sorry.
No, you are good to go. I just finished introducing how awesome you were and how proud we are to say that you are with us today, and how even more so proud we are to have you serving students in Mississippi, and how proud we are to have you serving in education general. Because again, we talked about it's absolutely a team sport. And it takes everybody everywhere to get this job done, right? So we're jumping right on in. So we know this time of the year can be crazy. It could be crazy as an administrator. It could be crazy as a teacher. It could be crazy as a parent. And I think sometimes we don't always think about that. A lot of my high school classmates, their babies were at prom this weekend. The upcoming week, they have awards day. The next week, they have state assessments. Like, so in a 10-day span, even as a parent, it could be a lot of things going on. So share with us from your 24 years of experience, what are some typical roadblocks that you have seen that happen in schools during this time of year? And what are some things that you've done to successfully navigate those hurdles?
So one of the big things is attendance will kind of drop after spring break. It kind of drops, like we're not doing anything, but we are definitely teaching until the last day. We are giving it our all. A lot of people don't know that over half of games are won after halftime. Well, all games are won after halftime, but half of games, when someone is down before halftime, they come back and win. So the second half is just or not more important than the first half for the students to be there. And so we see a drop in attendance after spring break, and an even bigger drop after state testing. And so what we do is we try to make learning fun, and we make sure that we send out communication and let parents know what we're doing. So the last 2 weeks, we sent a letter out to parents saying, these are the things we're doing. We want your students here at school. We're doing boot camps. We're doing fun. The floor is lava fun games for test prep. And just all the fun things that we're doing, because we don't want our babies to miss those fun things. And we just want to let the parents know what we're doing so that they will make extra strides to make sure that they're there. And we know how hard it is for parents, to get them there. And so we understand that. That's why I want to kind of communicate with them and let them know what it is we're doing. And then after state testing, we do a lot of fun things and a lot of celebrating. We have pep rallies, we have girls' tea, we have a boys' breakfast, we have a Disney day. So just a lot of fun things to get the students engaged. We're going to have an Under the Big Top for our little ones. They're going to learn about different animals, and they're going to get to dress up as an animal. So just a lot of fun that we have at the end of the year. After state testing, of course, Dr. Nelson, you kind of get to breathe and relax, but we will continue to teach and learn, and we will continue to have fun.
I think that's critically important. You guys dropped it in the chat. Learning should be fun. Mm-hmm. I think that one of the things that definitely happens during the fourth quarter is, energy is contagious. It is absolutely hands down positively contagious. And, this time of the year for state assessments, it is stressful. It's stressful for administrators. It's stressful for our teachers. It's stressful for students. But one of the ways that even in my time in buildings, right, and the people that how do we figure out that balance of, yes, we have urgency. Yes, we have urgency to perform, but we still have babies. We still have little human hearts that are in front of us that deserve to be treated as babies who are capable of learning, right? And so when we only put the pressure and we're only talking about data in the form of beating it over their heads, or, they feel that stress. And y'all know what I tell you. We talk about it all the time. It's why I talk about the whole person. When you are in an extreme sense of stress, everybody take your fists. All right, take your fists, put it back here. That is where when you are stressed out, like all of the good stuff, the thinking, your brain flow, it stops right there. We learn, think, and process creatively, and that place where we're taking the most part of our learning, it happens in the front of our brains, right? So when you're stressed, no learning is really happening, right? And so we have to keep that in mind when we're in schools, and even parents when we're at home. And because while we're talking about the village today, if our students are overly stressed out, it is going to have a negative impact on their performance. So what are some ways, Dr. Harper, that you have seen even in elementary schools, how does stress manifest itself in students? What have you seen students do that says, or that they've said to you that says, I am stressed out, even in my little 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old body? What does that look like in a school setting that parents may not even realize?
Sometimes it is the testing, and they get really upset and really stressed out about having to take the assessment. And sometimes it's expectations that the parents put on students. So we've seen students come in, and we can tell that their parents want them to be almost perfect, but we know that most learning takes place when mistakes are made. And so we are a Montessori school. We're the only public Montessori school in the state of Mississippi. There's a few private ones.
Talk to us about that. What does that mean? Because there might be some people on that don't know what a Montessori school is.
So Montessori was created, it's a type of learning created by Maria Montessori, who was a medical doctor. And she had a practice in Italy in the late 1800s. And she was a woman before her time, because at the time, they didn't even let women be doctors, but she broke barriers and became a doctor. And she worked with students who had special needs. And so what she did was she created different manipulatives and hands-on materials to teach those things. So for instance, for the little ones, we start at 3 years old. So the 3 and 4 year olds, they have sandpaper letters. And so it's like it's a square wooden box, and it has like the letter A on it. And so they take their hand and they trace the A, and the A feels like sandpaper. And as they're tracing it, they're saying the sound of that letter. And so it works with all different types of learning, whether they're learning orally or visually. They have something visual, they have something kinesthetic to touch, and they are saying it orally. And so it just meets the needs of all learners. And she saw the students excel with that type of learning and instruction and with those manipulatives. And so she said, well, if it works with students with special needs, just imagine what it would do with students that don't have special needs. And so she created this type of learning, and it just took off in Italy and has now become worldwide. And so in the late 90s, some parents in Jackson got together and decided they wanted a Montessori school, and it was a grassroots effort. They did the research, they raised money, the district was all in on it, and they created McWillie, which was the public Montessori school. So our students start at the age of 3. When you come into a Montessori environment, it's not going to look like a classroom with the desks and the bright posters and the work posted. It's going to look more like an extension of your living room. So it's going to have natural lighting, lamps, no overhead lighting. We have lamps, we have wooden shelves, the material is on the shelves, there are no desks. The students go get a rug and they lay their rug out on the floor, and they go to the shelf and get the material that they want and bring it over to the rug. And so in Montessori, we call it freedom within limits. And so we teach the children as early as the age of 3 that you can do these things, these materials, or these works is what we call them, if you've had a lesson on them, and then we give them a choice of what works they want to do. So they're really engaged, they're getting to choose what they want to work on, they bring it to their rug, they cannot put their work away until their work has been checked. So it's immediate feedback, and a lot of times in traditional settings, we don't have time to give immediate feedback to every student, but in Montessori, it lends itself to independent work and immediate feedback from the teacher. And so in Montessori, it's 80% of student time on task and independent work, and then 20% with the teacher. So 20% new lessons or reviews or checking work or working with the student one-on-one. So it lends itself to, a lot of one-on-ones. We do only small group instruction. So it's small group instruction all day long, and the students get to choose what they want to do, so they're excited about it. And then the teacher checks the works. And in Montessori, we teach that the teacher is just a resource and not the dictator of the classroom. And so that teacher is one of the resources, but we teach the students how to learn, whether the teacher is there or not. And we get them excited about learning. And so once we light that fire, then we can send them off into the world because they have that fire for life. So
I love that. I love that. Everybody drop in the chat for me. Energy is contagious. You guys know this is one of the fundamentals of BOSS, right? Energy is contagious. So even in a classroom. So that's one of the things that's going to lead us to the next question right here. But I want you to drop that in there. Energy is contagious. I don't know. It does not matter where, how, what your field is. At home, it's contagious. In a school, it's contagious. In the grocery store, in the barbershop. And we know, as you just noted, learning happens everywhere, right? Learning should be happening everywhere. So if we want our students to truly soak up as much knowledge and be able to experience the world differently, we've got to be excited about living. We've got to be excited about learning, right? Those things matter. Something else that you said that I just want everybody to notice, and hey, look at there. This is an international stage, by the way, okay? We got people, hey, there are friends from all over the world checking in. We want everybody to know you might not have a Montessori school, but you can in any school, whether it's public, private, I don't care if it's kindergarten or 12th grade or in a doctoral program, because we're talking about education, period. We can give students choice. We can create freedom within limits for everybody. So I want everybody that's on here to think about that, even within your home. How can you create some situations where we want learning to take place, but people have choice and their freedom within those limits? Because again, as you noted, once I'm excited about a thing, you light the fire, it's on and popping it in. Fireworks go off after we've lit them. So thank you for that. Along the same lines, How do you keep students and staff motivated right now? Before state assessments and beyond, what are you doing? The one and only Dr. Sara Harper. Because again, let me say this, if you missed her introduction, she is her current district's administrator of the year, and she is currently right now in the running for our Mississippi State. That means in the whole entire administrator of the year. So what are you doing right now to keep your people motivated and rocking and rolling for state assessments?
So one thing that we did was we had high schoolers make signs. We had some cheerleaders make signs for our students. So when they walked in last week, there were signs all over that say, "Ace that test, you were great, rock that test." Um, uh, and some are sports themed and some are more, some have lollipops on them, but just they're something that they can relate to. But just knowing that they have the support from us and letting them know on we have announcements that we have been teaching you all year long. We know you can do this. Now is your time to shine. And just giving them the confidence booster that they need right now. We gave them little happies in the morning. We had a neighboring school district write letters to our students, and they were so sweet. They made me cry. But it was from student to student, and it just said, "We know that you're going to do great. Take your time. You're going to do amazing today. You are an amazing person." And they were really heartfelt letters from other students from a neighboring school district. We also asked the parents to get the parents involved, and every single one of our parents did it. They wrote a letter to their own child, just saying how amazing they are and how great that they're going to do on the assessment. And we gave that letter to them right before they took the test. So they were able to see the letter from their own parent at school while they were sitting waiting to start the assessment. So just a lot of love and support and boosting their confidence to show them that we know you're going to do great. And we also explain to the students that you are more than just a test grade. Tests are important, and it gives an accountability, to show what we have been teaching and what they have been learning. But at the same time, students are so much more than a test score, and we let them know that too, that you have so many more needs than this, but this is just the academic portion. And then there are other things that we do to make sure that they are learning and striving, and that they're emotionally they're taken care of, physically they're taken care of. But education, we just explained to the child that educationally, this is how you show us what you have learned all year.
I absolutely love that. Listen, I need everybody, once again, you guys know we love to see your action in the chat. Affirmations for elevation. Right? This time of year, we really need to be intentional in using language that lifts. That's another boss principle, right? What are the words that we are allowing to come out of our mouth at this point of the year? And you better believe our little babies are listening, right? So, as a parent, as a community member, right, as a church member, in the grocery store, if I'm a little LaQuanta and I'm walking through the grocery store, what do I hear about? How do people feel about education in the community, right? Are they saying we are so excited to see what our kids are going to do? Are they saying we believe? We're so excited, we're ready to celebrate, right? Our students need to hear from the people around them that they believe in them. Something as simple as that. Matter of fact, this is a challenge for everybody that's on. Tomorrow, I need you to find 5 babies that are in school, all right, pre-K 12, and look them in their face and tell them, I believe in you. I believe in you. It's simple as that. You don't need a long explanation. Tell them great morning and look at them and tell them, I believe in you. Anybody going to participate with that? I need you to drop it in the chat. I'm going to do the 5. 5 babies, 5 children tomorrow. And you might say, well, I might not see kids tomorrow. You have a friend, you have a family member that you can call and tell them to tell that baby, I said, I believe in them. They need to hear that this time of year. Again, adults need to hear that this time of year. So if you're an administrator, I want to challenge you to look at your staff and tell them you absolutely believe in them. Your bus drivers, can I tell you, it's rough time this time. Dr. Harper, can you tell the people it's rough to be a bus driver this time of year?
Oh, it's rough. It's rough all year, but then it's just elevated this year. So yes.
So if you see a bus driver driving down the road, like it's okay if they at the stop sign and roll your window down and say, bus driver, thank you. I believe in you. You just named so many things. And I think sometimes we think as the community that we can't do anything to help in our public school or we don't have influence, but that is so not true, right? Some of the things that you just know that cost you not a single dime. right? It's free. Language that lives, right? I want to challenge. I love that she said challenge accepted, right? 5 people, 5 students tomorrow, 5 adults, mix and match it, right? People need to hear that from you. It truly is a game changer. Being in the middle school world, which has been my space, I'm home of the crazies, right? Even for middle school students, this time of year, you're talking about learning through play. One of the best things that we ever did to prep during this time of year, but not only this time of year, but pretty much every Monday or at least every other Monday, we would have Monday motivational assemblies, right? And this, in essence, was an academic prep rally. Notice I said it not pep, but academic prep rally, in which we basically took our standards and we had tied and attached games to it. And the students were competing against each other, 6th grade versus 7th versus 8th, right? To see, like, we were scholars and we were challenging ourselves to grow and to show up that way. So that was one of those free things that anybody in a school setting, it doesn't cost you a dime to get creative. And that's the other thing. Teamwork makes the dream work. So, Dr. Harper, one of the other things we want to ask you is, so this time of the year, what tips would you offer parents specifically to support their child's learning? And not just for right now during state assessment, let's even talk summer. What are some things that parents can be doing even after the last day of school? Because if we do it right, learning that is not just during the school year, right? It's not just during the school day, it's every
Mhm.
day, everywhere, right? Because majority of the learning happens by doing, by seeing, by experiencing, right? So what are some things that parents can do from your lens, and something that you would suggest them to keep learning happening in their world?
That is a great question. So, number one, there is a direct correlation that has been found in studies that students who enjoy reading do much better on state assessments and achievement tests, whether that's a state assessment, a end of year assessment at the school level, or the ACT. But students who love to read or enjoy reading do much better than students who do not like to read. And so we need to open their world of reading and giving them resources that they are interested in. It could be comic books, it could be Sports Illustrated. If your child is interested in sports, go get them books and articles. It could be newspaper articles. And studies have also shown that print is much better than reading on your phones,
Say that one
because
more time, because that's one of those things that, sometimes we're in a technologically advanced world, right? We get it. There's so many ways and reasons that technology has elevated who we are and how we move in the world of education and just the world, period. But one more time for the people in the back, what did you say the research said about a printed piece of paper, a document, book, article? Talk to us one more time because I need the people to hear.
so research shows that reading an actual physical book that is print is much better for brain stimulation than reading it on a tablet or a Chromebook or your phone. Reading is reading, so we understand that the only option is to read on their phone. That is much better than not reading at all. But reading something like taking them to the library or getting them a subscription of Sports Illustrated, or just something that they're interested in. If you have a young girl that's interested in fashion, get her books about fashion that she can read, but something where they're not even thinking that they're reading, but they're actually learning and reading. Also, there is research showing that when they're writing instead of typing, it helps with brain stimulation as well. So even if you allow them to read and then write a few sentences about what they read, that's going to help also. Now is the time, I know it's only April, but those summer camps fill up so fast. So when you're looking for summer camps, look for ones that are fun, but also educational. Because the ones that are educational are usually a lot more organized and structured, and they're actually learning at those instead of just playing free time all day. Play is great, but it also needs a purpose. So when they're playing and they have a purpose, it's much better than them just playing all day long. Even if it's 30 minutes a day of reading. If you cannot find a summer camp that has educational resources or an educational component to it, that's fine. Let them go to the day camp all day long, be around other students, have that social interaction and that play. And when they get home, then you all read for 30 minutes to an hour a day. Modeling is very important. mamas and dads. So if you're telling them to read and you're not, that's very important. I read to my child every night before we go to sleep, and she will let me know if I miss that story time. She will let me know. And sometimes I will say, do you want me to read you 2 books, or do you want to be on your tablet for 5 minutes? I know, super mom guilt there. But every single time she will choose, read me 2 books, every single time. And so your children want to hear you read. They want that time. They want the snuggle time. If they're older, you could read a chapter book to them, or if they're a little bit older than that, just take a 30-minute tablets off, unplug for 30 minutes, whether it's like right before dinner, right after dinner, and everyone just reads during that time. And I think modeling that and showing them that that's important, I think will really help too. So the more they read, the better off they'll be on, taking assessments.
Any assessment. I love that. And folks, if you would like some more information about that, we did a whole episode a few times back with Dr. Sutton about literacy, right? It's a family affair. So maybe episode 4, I think. Just go back and watch that. We have a whole episode dedicated to things that you can do in your home, in your community to support literacy, right? So here we go. We're down to the final few minutes. Here we go. And I want to ask you, Dr. Harper, you are officially Queen of Education for the day. Okay. You are the Queen of Education for the day. What is the message? Okay. We wear the crown. Yes. What is the message that you want parents, other administrators, teachers, students to hear right now to encourage them to finish strong? What are your ending words as Queen of Education to everybody in the world? Because again, we got people from all over the world chimed in tonight to hear this message about ending the school year strong.
Like you said, just pouring into as many people. And Dr. Nelson and I, you were talking earlier, you love your job because you can pour into more people than you could just in one building. And so I know that today our preacher preached an amazing sermon about Ruth. And Ruth was in the field harvesting, not for herself, but for others. And so God blessed her. And so I'm a servant leader, and anybody in education that you ask is probably going to say they're a servant leader. Nobody in education chooses this for money. You hear that all the time. It's kind of cliche. But we do it because we love it, and we love pouring into other people. So as a teacher, I taught for 13 years. I loved pouring into my students and pouring into them. And as an administrator, now I have 400 students that I can pour into every day. I have 60 staff members that I can pour into every day. I'm a principal coach for my district, so I love pouring into them. I love sharing ideas. I love strategizing with other people just to help as many people as I can. And then as a parent, I'm a 45-year-old new parent to a 4-year-old. And so as a parent, I love pouring into my child and seeing that when I pour into her, it helps her, and she absolutely loves school because I have poured into her and instilled in her that school is very important and that we love it. And we have a positive attitude every day. When she comes home from school, I ask her, what new lesson did you get today? What was your favorite work? Were you kind to others? What did you do to help somebody else? So I do carpool every morning. And so we probably unload 200 cars every morning. There is such a difference in the children that get out of the cars where the parents say, I love you, have a good day, make good choices. And between a child who gets out of the car and the parent is saying, get out of the car, hurry up, I gotta go to work, I'm late, do this, do that, be good, don't be on red. And it's just, there is such a huge difference in the child's attitude. So remember, when you're letting your own child off at school or rushing them out the door, that your last words or your attitude is pouring into your child, whether it's positive or negative. And those words, those affirmations, or those demands, or whatever it is, positive or negative, is going to affect your child for the rest of the day. And so just be mindful of pouring in positive affirmations to your child and reminding them to make good choices, reminding them to go to school and that you love that they're learning and you love that they're going to school, instead of it being something that you are it's getting on your last nerve because you're about to be late to work. So just know that is so important for you to, and that's something simple that you can change, and you can change it tomorrow. And I know we all have days. I'm not a perfect parent. I yell at my child, but I just have to be mindful that will set the tone for the rest of her day.
Absolutely. I think that is critically important what you just said about making sure what is the last message that we're sending our children out of the door with. I think not only is that critical for parents, but it's critical for any relationship. What is the last thing you are sending people out of the door with? What is that conversation? What is the energy? Because we said that energy is absolutely contagious. And again, nobody's perfect. Like I remember one day I was that mama, all right, fussing at Tyler that morning. Typically don't have to fuss at Tyler, right? But that morning, and I remember him getting out of the car with a little tear, and I pulled off, and I'm headed to run my own school, right? I got down the interstate and I was thinking, I started crying. I'm like, oh my goodness, I sent my own child to that school. And I'm the educator, right? What? So again, perfection is not required. Y'all drop that in the chat as we're ending. Perfection is not required. Progress is, right? Perfection not required. Progress is. I'm going to wait on this one now. Perfection is not required. Progress is. That is a boss principle, right? Because again, you are a boss parent, you're a boss administrator, a boss teacher, and it's all about us making the greatest amount of impact, positive impact that we can make. And again, we do that when we understand, yeah, I might not get it right every day, but what did I learn from the mistake that I made, right? And we know parenting is super hard. Being an educator is super hard. But again, education is a team sport. So we are in this thing together. Last question. What do you want your legacy to be? Sara Harper, right? And that S in boss, the last one, it stands for where is it over there, right? Being substantial. What is your legacy? What do you desire for your legacy to be long after you're long gone? What do you want that thing to be?
I want people to know that I was a servant leader, and I want that to shine through my work, and just helpful. So when I hear people say, "Oh, I heard that you have a wonderful culture at your school, and you're so sweet and giving and kind," that means more to me than we're an A school. That means more to me than we're the only Montessori school. That means more to me than I'm administrator of the year. So just being kind and compassionate and pouring into my children and my students and my staff, and just being a real servant leader. I think I want that to be my legacy. I want people to remember me for that I wasn't in it for, glory or acknowledgement at all, but it's just to help others and to pour into others and help others light shine.
I absolutely love it. It's been our absolute pleasure to have you. If people want to find you or even look up your amazing school, y'all, because you should follow her on social media to see the amazing things day to day that are happening in her school. How can somebody find you? How can they follow you?
So I'm posting every day on Facebook, something every day that we're doing at McWillie. So on Facebook, I'm Sara Pearson Harper, Pearson, and then Harper. On Instagram, I'm Dr._Harper. On social media for our school, it's McWillie Elementary. So you can go to the Jackson Public School District website and click on McWillie, and you can see all the wonderful things that we're doing at McWillie. Or you can go to the JPS website and find us. And then my email is on there as well. So if there's something that you want a question asked or answered, or if you want some type of resource or want to know what we're doing, feel free to reach out to email me. And that can be found on the McWillie website as well. My email is on there.
So again, you guys heard it straight from her. She is most definitely a collaborator. She loves to share. She loves to empower. And what we'll do, Dr. Harper, is we'll go back in and link all of your contact information in the comments. So we'll make sure that everybody can easily, because I am telling you, you want to follow her school's Facebook page or her Facebook page. She drops amazing things every single day that they are doing that honestly, y'all, if you want to take the time, you can do it in your school too. That's what this is about. How do we spread the good stuff and duplicate the good stuff? Speaking of good stuff, listen, and pouring into others, we want to take this time to invite you guys to the Boss Retreat. which is a specially curated event for folks that really need a deep reset or feel like you deserve a charge up, right? Last year we had people from all over that came down to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. They were pampered in this luxury boutique hotel. I mean, we had great experiences, and 100% of participants walked away saying, this was transformative for me. 100% of participants walked away saying this was worth more than the investment of being here, and they are coming back, right? So make sure that you guys don't miss that. That link is also on my Facebook page. I'm dropping a special challenge tonight around that because I am a giver and I want to give away one full vacation, right? To a deserving mom or mother figure. So just check my Facebook page in about 30 more minutes and we'll drop that challenge for everyone to be able to participate with. You guys know how we end every single time. I'm making boss moves this week. Drop it in the chat. What boss moves are you making this week? And you can just drop, I'm making boss moves this week. And then what's the one thing that you're walking away that you're going to try tomorrow, right? Because we were talking all types of supports for the school community. We gave you a challenge or two, but again, drop in the chat at least this one. I'm making boss moves this week. You guys are the right people to be bold, and we know that means to advocate for others and to show up fiercely authentic. We are optimistic because we know we need no more negative Nicoles or Nancy's in our world, and energy is contagious. We are spontaneous because we know that our brains respond to novelty. And last but not least, we are substantial. We are making impact. We are making positive impact in the world. So drop that in the chat. Make sure that you've liked and shared this video. And we will see you amazing people next week for episode 9 of Boss Moves. It's a great evening, guys. We love you. Go be boss. Tell Dr. Harper to go be boss.